What's going on, folks? The second night of the 2025 NBA draft just concluded. Last night we were on the stream for quite a while, mostly Wizards related, as they had 2 picks in the first round. Tonight we're just going to look at the second round as a whole in its entirety. Just work our way through, talk about some of the selections. We got Cardell Dudley Jr. here, obviously, and definitely gonna pick his brain and talk about some of these fits because this is one of those. Do we officially start calling these drafts like pre-second apron and post-second apron life in terms of how these teams are moving? Because so many different trades, and a lot of the trades were for financial purposes for folks. Just to be honest. Two ways don't register on the set, don't register on the ledger the same way that even the smaller guaranteed contracts do. So if you operate, if one of the teams messing around with the apron, 2 ways is the way to go, which means you got to trade back a little bit to make sure that the contract is in fact a 2-way contract. All right, Carter, we'll start at the top of the second round. Again, we were talking before we got on here. Shout out to ESPN for making sure they got the arrows pointing for the teams because it was a lot going on, a lot of action. That said, to start the second round tonight, we had Rasheed Fleming out of St. Joe's, selected by Minnesota, but it was traded to Phoenix. And that's one of the things we see in Phoenix. We know how bad they were defensively last year. It looks like they're doubling and tripling down on an issue. Last night, it was 2 bigs. Tonight, they started with the wing.
Yeah, Rasheed Fleming, he was obviously projected to go late first round. So for him to go, be the first off the board in the second round is a little bit lower than what was projected. But regardless, I think he'll help Phoenix. Shout out to the A10 conference. It's been pretty consistent with NBA draft picks coming out of the conference the last few years. I'm still not understanding why people view it as like a lower mid-major, but I've come to terms that a lot of people just talk these days. They don't really know what they're talking about. They don't pay attention. They just go off of what their preference is. But neither here nor there, man. He's a talented kid. He can be the ultimate 3-and-D guy as he continues to develop his 3-point shooting. Versatile as hell on the defense, man. Like he can come in right away. That should stick right away. He should be able to come in and defend 1 through 4s. You know what I mean? And against some teams, even 5s, like OKC, when they go to their little 6'7", 6'8" center lineup or whatnot with the Jalen all in there, he can guard 1 through 5. And like you just said at the top of the show, Phoenix was one of the worst defensive teams in the league last year. I think they were 28th in defensive rating. Yeah, they were. 28th in defensive rating, 119.3. They were 22nd in points allowed. Gave up 116.6, man. So, yeah, they needed tremendous, work in that area. They had to get some players up in there. Obviously, they traded Kevin. So that cleared up some cap space, but not enough where you could try to overhaul go on the free agency market and try to see if you can get somebody established. So you got to build through the draft, man. And get some talented players in there that can help. That's fairly cheap because they on rookie deals, man. So that's what you have in here. To me, watching him throughout his career at St. Joe's, obviously playing in A10, I always felt like he was an OG under Noe mode, being 6'9", 225, 230, 235, and his versatility defensively, but he could still make plays here, at a respectable where I'm not saying he's elite at that, but, you're not shocked when he's dishing the rock and getting the ball to players to make, score baskets and whatnot. Very athletic, finishes strong inside, as you just see right there. And streaky shooter, but when he gets going, he can be tough to slow down. The things that did worry me is he could have stretches in the game where he kind of just disappear, where he don't make any impact. He's just out there, and that's the adjustment he has to make in the NBA, because you can't have that in the NBA so fast. You'll get burnt real quick, and they got to take you out the game. So him just staying locked in for a full 48 and just being more consistent, building out his jumper, building up his ball handling and stuff, just rounding out his game. If he could do that, he's gonna be more than fine in the league, man. And then, years down the line, we're gonna be saying, well, why the hell he slipped to 31st? You know what I mean? And if you Phoenix, that's what you want to happen.
And we know last year, one of the they took, was it Ryan Dunn and Oso last year?
There you go. Yep.
Just to add in again, just to, those were two small pieces, but to again reiterate the importance of, they got to do it without opening the purse strings, because they don't have it, right? And we know there might be more moves and whatnot, but you have what you have in Devin Booker. And what have we been talking about as nauseum about what you need in this league?
Sometimes you got to draft what you need instead of like the talent. You know what I mean? And he fits that. People don't understand. You saw the athleticism, but he's 6'8", but he got 7'5" wingspan. He's still young. Like, he only played a couple years. Still fairly young. He only played like a couple years at St. Joe's, so he still has a ton of room to grow. But now he's learning on the actual job instead of having to go to class, which will only help, man. You know what I mean? So, and it's not just him. The trade that they got. Think about, look, people don't like Dillon Brooks. I like him. I like the age he plays with. He's gonna make these young guys come in and get that edge, because he's gonna be doing it to them in practice, like doing the chippy stuff to them in practice. So they're gonna have no choice. And then think about him for sure. You got guard Devin Booker and Bradley Beal as the time being. Then on defense, you got Dillon Brooks and Jalen Green. Can't forget about him as well. But now, and then on defense, you got Dillon Brooks hitting on you and stuff like that. Like, it's just competition where you either gonna rise to the occasion or they gonna understand like, he ain't got it right now. We got to develop him. And if he don't get it over that span of time, next couple of years, then all right, he don't have it at all. So, but I think he does, man. He's fairly talented. I mean, not fairly talented. He has a load of talent. He has to bring it out.
All right, continuing with the again, one of the themes this year was defense and the ability to be versatile on the end of the floor, and that leads us into the second pick of the second round, Noah Penda. Out of France. Boston selected him, traded to Orlando. So we know what type of time Orlando's been on. They made the trade for Bane when to go get something they really need, because they feel they have their pillars. And, I'm not against how they feel. We've gotten the luxury to see Paolo and Franz up close a couple years, the damage they've done in their conference. When we get to see them up close, see them nationally as well. That said, you got Bane, and you had a piece like this, and Penda. How do you feel he fits in here?
Yeah, I think he's more of a guy that just gonna be relying on for defense out the gate. He's extremely versatile on the defensive end. He has work to do offensively. He's not a great shooter. Got funky mechanics when he shoot. Obviously, he made it in the NBA. He could put the ball on the floor, make something happen, man. But, the beautiful thing with Orlando, they don't need him to do that right now. He's athletic. He's long. Just finish when you get your shot attempts, which will be limited to begin with until he develops. Main thing his job right now, do the dirty work, defend, kind of similar to Sochan from the Spurs. Yeah. How he first came in, same thing, but now you starting to see his offense blossom, shooting the ball more, putting the ball on the floor, posting up, making plays. You starting to see that. That's he's kind of in that mode when he first came in, like when Sochan first came in. So, it got him listed 6'7", but he got 6'11" wingspan and athletic, man. You see how he's running and block shot and finishing, man. So he's somebody that can kind of give Franz or some relief where they don't have, or Paulo, where hey, put him on the threat so they can stay fresh and do what they do on offense and stay out of foul trouble, certain things. And what's that word we keep bringing up throughout the draft ever since OKC made their run? Depth.
Yep.
Every team is going for depth, and they're going to have a whole bunch of players that play the same position. And in summer league and training camp, certain players going to get weeded out. Hey, roll the balls out, show us. Who should we keep? And that's what you're going to see a lot of teams do. So, but nonetheless, man, he should, obviously second round, you got to compete, the stick. But if he's able to do that, man, able to get in rotation, if I can get minutes right away, he got some guys in front of him that will provide some instant, what I call seasoning. You know what I mean? Because they're gonna, having to deal with Franz and Paulo every day. That's not an easy day at all.
I mean, the good thing is you don't have to deal with exactly those two blend of wonderful people each and every night. So to get you ready quick, definitely get you ready quick. All right, on next, Charlotte, which apparently has a thing for players from Duke over the past couple years. They just keep adding them to their collection, right? Sion James. We know what Charlotte did in the first round. You want to talk about depth. They are just streamlining their roster, reinforcing their roster, I guess is the right way to say it. We know what they possibly could be. They're very top heavy, they're young, talented, but health. We've never got a full clear picture because Melo's not always there. What do you think about them adding Sion James? Obviously what they added in the first round, but first was Sion James.
Yeah, man, they didn't coach him. Adding guys that's gonna come in and have winning habits, winning mentality, and just the intangibles that they're not looking to be a star. They just come in and they're just, I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna maximize my role, and I'm gonna help the team in any way I can win. And you need those guys, man. You know what I'm saying? Like we know what Charlotte's been the last few years, man. The new regime, new coach, they're slowly getting I don't want to call them BS, man. They getting the guys out of there that haven't clicked for them on the professional side yet. Everybody's talented, but they getting guys in there that are winners, man, and know nothing but that. I like Sion James. He was at the combine out there. Watched them a lot because Duke was on TV every game.
Facts.
Great defender, super defender, man. Physically ready, able to play, can score the ball, and he doesn't need the ball to be able to score. He understands how to cut, set screens, get himself open, make himself a threat. He's not somebody you can just give the ball to and say dance one-on-one and make it happen. But he's somebody that you have to pay attention to because it's nothing for him to look up in the box score, you lose, and then he got 15. You're like, how the hell he get 15? It's just stuff like that. Talking about backdoor cuts, lobs, couple steals, transition buckets, hit couple open threes, get fouled, go to free throw line, knock those down, tip-ins, you know what I mean? Just different variety of ways where he can score without a play being called for him or without them having to just get the ball, make something happen. And meanwhile, when he does have the ball, he does make good decisions and he is a capable playmaker. So, like I said, he's just a guy. Think about Rick Fox when he was with the Lakers, not with the Celtics where he was getting buckets. I'm talking about when he was with the Lakers. That's what Sion thinks that role.
That's the type of role. Okay.
That's the role I'm pretty sure they kind of looking at him to fulfill. And that's what Rick Fox did. He guarded 2-3, hit open shots, was able to break his opponents down at times and score, post up, made smart decisions, making plays, and was just the ultimate professional. Was always ready to go, man. And one of the leaders on the Dynasty Lakers in the early 2000s that they don't talk about enough, man. Because he would definitely speak up with Shaq and Kobe when they had their little riffs and stuff. So this guy, and he's a bit older, so this guy could be one guy that could come in and set a professional tone, maybe not vocally right away until he proves himself, but through his actions and work habits.
We're going to stick with Charlotte. We know they had, over the last couple of years, we got to see Nick Richards and Mark Williams together coming to DC several times a year. See that duo. Last year, Nick Richards got traded out. Then last night, Mark Williams got traded out of Charlotte. We had the failed trade near the trade deadline. Then he actually got moved last night in the first round. So they followed the pick of Sion James by taking big man Ryan Kalkbrenner out of Creighton, I believe. So your thoughts on their new someone who has an opportunity to be their new five?
Well, one, got great size, 7'1", 257. Outside of Nurk. Well, Nurk got there late. He wasn't there at the beginning of the season. He got there through the trade. You know, obviously Taj Gibson's on his way out. Then, you know, Mark Williams just got traded. They needed size. You know, shoot. Before the draft, once they made that trade, the tallest player was Musa Diabata, and he's 6'11". You know what I'm saying? And he's a and he's more of a wing. You know what I'm saying? Like a pass for Shotgun than a center. You know, he only 210, so they needed size, man. This kid's 7'1", 257. But on top of that, they needed 3-point shooting. And that's what this kid does well, man. He can shoot the hell out of the three, man, and he can protect. He can protect the rim. He's great in the pick and roll situation because he makes great decisions. He can put the ball on the floor a little bit, make plays, and you know, with his size and be able to shoot over opponents because he can shoot the ball. But look, the Hornets, they were 28th in the league in 3-point shooting last year. That's what I'm also looking at. They shot 33%. He can help with that right away, and also space the floor in a great way. So LaMelo can just dissect guys and do what he do. And obviously, with, you know, Brian Miller and all those guys, man. So yeah, he's definitely an asset. The only thing I'm kind of worried about is the rim running. Can he run the floor enough, and can he stay in front of guys? You know, they're gonna pick on him. They're gonna try. They're gonna test him out. You know, in the playoffs, we saw how SGA just feasted on bigs when they was in drop coverage. Can he move his feet and use his length to contest those type of guards, man, when they go at him? Because if not, it's gonna be hard to keep him on the floor, and because they're gonna keep picking on him, man. So that's the question only he's gonna have to answer. But if he's able to hold up defensively and everything, he should make an impact right away.
All right, on from the Hornets to the Sixers. Johnny Broome was their selection. Your thoughts on the fit and the selection? Just your thoughts, and I'll get a clip together real quick.
I don't know the fit because we all know the franchise is Joel Embiid. If he's healthy, he's gonna get the bulk of the minutes. Johnny Broome, all right, fine. He's probably gonna more so fit in at the 4. Maybe some 5, depending on who they play. Look, there's no doubt that he was an accomplished college player. You know, but one thing that he did excel at was inside play and rebounding the ball. Philly, for the talent that they have on the roster, they didn't rebound the ball well at all, man. They ranked 30th in the league. So that's an area he can come in right away and just do the dirty work and make an impact and get on the court. You know what I'm saying? And get in the rotation right away. And I think that's what Philly's banking on. You know what I mean? He's tough, he's rugged in the post, he has a variety of moves, he's somebody that knows what to do if he get the ball down there. He ain't just a liability or whatnot. He's not gonna wow you in the testing because at the combine he didn't wow anybody, but as you can see in game, he's ready to go. So I'd rather have the player that's ready to go in the game than the guy that looks amazing in testing and then in the game, look nothing like it. It's kind of like on, the football side with Jerry Rice. They say he's slow as hell in testing, but in the game, boy, it look like he running like a 4.2 every time. So I'd rather have that, and hopefully that's what this kid turned out to because I love this game in college. He was a force. It's no getting around that, man. But I think helping them on the boards, man, because that's crazy. Obviously, Embiid went out, but that's no excuse, man. You got a lot of wings that can rebound down there, and Andre Drummond was down there, and that's his specialty. So the fact that they were 30th in the NBA is very alarming. So I think that's what they're doing. Plus, he's older. You know what I mean? He understands what needs to be done. And the older guys, it's less, you don't have to develop as much. Give them the system, they know how to play. Then it's just a matter of them adapting to the NBA game and learning the ropes as far as taking care of your body, knowing what to do on the road and all that. So you're ready to perform at your best night in and night out. But, if he could do that, I think he'll be fine. I think he can hold up defensively because he did that in college. Pretty decent. Obviously, it's different. I know it's the league and stuff. I mean, I'm not expecting him to be able to guard, like a Kyrie or, all the time or something like that. Not that, but I'm expecting him not to be food eating. You know, he's been too productive for that. So you know, we can see. And then obviously, man, if he could build on his offensive game where he could stretch the floor, especially out the 3-point range, then that's just a plus, man. Because he has his tools and the physicality and toughness to be able to get you a near double-double, 10 and 10 in the game, 1 or 2 blocks, man. If he can give you that, that's a plus for Philly.
And like you said, he brings something they sorely need to the table. And we all know, you never know how often a big fella's going to be in the lineup. You don't know how big that opportunity is going to be. So we'll see how that goes. Up next, a Deuterio out of Arkansas. Brooklyn, but traded to the Lakers. I can't get mad at that because Lord knows they need somebody on the wing to play defense because food is what they were for teams. You need to get stops. So your 2 gifted playmakers could do their thing, but sorely need people to be able to get stops. So I go find a clip. Your thoughts on his him landing with the Los Angeles Lakers?
Super athlete, strong, got good size at 6'6", about 220. You can guard 1 through. I keep saying 4, and I know people when you hear 4, they're like, man, you can't guard on 6'10" and 6'11". It's not the old school, you know what I mean? 4s are like 6'7", 6'8" now. So don't get me wrong, you're gonna run into a Giannis down there, Anthony Davis and stuff like that, but those are few and far in between. Most 4s, there you go. So he can guard 1 through 3 in most 4s. He's a beast going downhill, man. He get that when he get downhill is his problems. He's strong and he's explosive, and he can get to that cup, 1 dribble. He's also a capable playmaker. You know, got to improve his overall skill set as far as breaking people down off the bounce consistently, and you know, being able to hit threes and mid-range shots consistently and all that. But yeah, he'll put you in a basket. He getting there for rebounds. He's tough. You know, playing off LeBron and Luka, you know, it's easy for him to get double-digit points a game just off of moving without the ball and just finishing, and then knocking down his free throws, man. So I think that's what they kind of looking at being, man. But he's going to have to lead with his defense, obviously, to get on the court, man. Because obviously with LeBron and Luka, they don't need a bunch of scoring. They can do that. But if them boys can get out and run, and if he can get stops, you know, think about stretches where they did look good, like Vanderbilt and those guys, and they was getting stops and they was running. And you add somebody else that can do that. Yeah, man, it's a good fit. You know, it's a good fit, man, for what they need and for what he brings, man. So I'm definitely not mad at it.
All right, up next we go to Detroit. They took Chaz Lanier from Tennessee. Has a clip. I'm happy for Detroit in that regard. It's another one of those young teams where at time they have more shooting than Orlando has, but still a lot of these young teams that are constructed, they don't have a ton of shooting. So again, we're talking about the importance of depth, and it's somebody who knows. Again, somebody who I don't think it's gonna be hard for him to understand or accept his role, or for us to envision his role in Detroit.
Right. He's one of the better scorers in the country. And it's weird because he didn't score that much in North Florida, but then he transferred to Tennessee and he just blossomed, man. You know what I mean? 18 a game, 4 rebounds. But he can hit the 3. And we all know Detroit. They were one of the worst teams in the league, if not the worst, if I'm not mistaken. I gotta look it up. No, they were one of the worst. They were 17th in the NBA on 3-point shooting, about 36%. That was an Achilles heel for them at times, man. And you saw it in the playoffs when Malik Beasley went cold or whatnot. It was tough. It put a lot of pressure on Cade Cunningham to have to make miracles and stuff, and Tobias and all those guys. Dennis Schroeder, but when Beasley was on, you saw what happened. They usually won, man. So you add another shooter, guy who's 6'4" with 6'9" wingspan, so that enables him to be more versatile and be able to play different spots. Problem is he got to figure out a way to make players around him better. He only averaged 1 assist last year. That's just for a guard, that's just not gonna cut it. Especially you coming in as a second round pick, looking to be a rotation guy, unless you just really just stink up the joint in the summer league or whatnot, where they have to let you go. But I don't see that happening. He's too talented. But yeah, man, you're gonna have to find a way to make plays and be able to make right reads, because you're not gonna be the primary scorer. You're not even gonna be the secondary scorer right away. You can kind of be the guy, the 3-and-D guy. I think that's what it is, man. And then against good defensive teams where they take away the first couple of options, then you're gonna have to show you can make plays off the bounce and run it, just orchestrate the offense and stuff at times. You know what I'm saying? So, but though he's a talented shooter, man. So he gonna help in that regard. He's competitive, so I know he's gonna get after defensively. He's not gonna have a choice. Bickerstaff don't play that. So yeah, man. They needed scoring, they needed shooting. He took a leap, his last couple years. His last year in North Florida and against Tennessee, he took a hell of a leap. Like, I don't think people understand. He played 5 years of college. His sophomore year, redshirt sophomore year, 22-23, he averaged 4.7 points. Then the next year, he jumped to 19.7 points. Then he transferred to Tennessee, and he averaged 18 points. And three out of his 5 college seasons, the last 3 seasons of his college career, he shot 39% or better from 3. You know what I mean? So, and he hits his free throws. So, and he's been pretty efficient for the field as well, except for last year, he kind of took a step back. 43%. That's probably because of some games we had bad shot selection and whatnot. But yeah, man, if he could play up to his game, yeah, he could definitely be a threat and an asset for the Pistons.
All right, up next we have the Spurs, who selected Cam Jones, but it was part of a trade. So the Pacers do the thing that we've seen this story before. It's on their roster. Tell us a little bit about Cam Jones.
Efficient point guard, man. Obviously the Halliburton injury played a big role while they got him. 6'3", knows how to run a team, makes the right reads, has great pace, great poise, can break you down, get to his spots, and he just makes guys better. That's his strength. He's not the best athlete or whatnot, but Halliburton proved you don't need to be. You know what I mean? That's the whole point. If you know how to just think the game and just use change of pace, you can get around a lot of defenders. You don't need to be Russell Westbrook or Derrick Rose or something to make that happen, man. But regardless, he's a talented player, man. He's one of my favorite guards to watch last year. Took a step back, and he took a step back as far as 3-point shooting last year, because he like last year, this past season, he shot 31%, but his freshman year he shot 39%. Sophomore year he shot 36%, and his junior year he shot 40%. So he's a capable 3-point shooter as well, efficient scorer. Could be better at the free throw line, but he gets the job done, in a way. It's pretty solid, but he can be better. But the thing is, he's going to rebound and he's going to make plays, man. He averaged just under 6 assists last year, but only turned the ball over 1.9 times. You see what I'm saying? Like,
it fits in.
He fits what the Indiana Pacers need. Even when Halliburton come back, now you just have more depth at the point guard. It takes pressure off of Halliburton. And now you don't get no breaks with a big point guard that's running the team and distributing and controlling the game. And that makes them better. And that's what you draft for. So, hell of a pickup for the Pacers.
Yeah, we saw both. I'm sure next week we'll get to talking about the draft as a whole. We saw both teams that were in the finals kind of stay on what keep doing what it is that they've done to build their rosters with some heady picks to keep those keep things moving. Up next, we got Toronto by way of Portland, by way of Sacramento. Elijah Martin out of Florida.
Yeah, probably one of the most freakish players in the draft, if you want to call it that. For him to just be 6'2", he built like a running. No, my bad. He's built like an NFL linebacker. Got a little Dort on him. Don't let the 208 fool you. That boy, that's not the average 208. That's like 208 with like 2% body fat. Physically, he ready to go, man. And he's a bull out there, man. Think about it. I think at Florida he played the 4 a lot. 6'2", like that's a freak. Like think about it. Yeah, he was the one he was the one mixing it up. Look, and just bullying bigs, just going in there with drives, getting downhill, blocking shots, getting tough rebounds. He was a big part in that national championship game. You see what I'm saying? Like when he put his shoulder in you go back. He don't go back. And then defensively, again, when he cuts you off, you bounce back. You get stood up. He don't go nowhere. What do the Raptors? What have they been building over the last few years with their roster? Versatile, super explosive, defensive guys, man.
Freakish wingspans.
There you go. To complement, what they already have. What I'm saying, obviously building around Scotty Barnes and those guys. So, yeah, one of the best perimeter defenders in the draft. He's 6'2", but he got 6'7" wingspan. So, but like I said, with his athleticism, man, he plays much bigger, man. So, yeah, it's easy to see him guard a 1 through 3, but he's tough and rugged, man. So he gonna go in there and do all the intangibles and dirty work, man, to help the team win. And you see him, as you saw with OKC, it's a copycat league. You're seeing teams just drafting those guys. So all of a sudden, all that glitz and glamour, pretty skill stuff, it's been neutralized because guys getting after defensively, man, being tough. So not saying it's not good not saying it's cool to not have it. You got it in your game, cool, but it's a certain level of tenacity and toughness and grit that you also need now to make it in the league, and that's what they're looking for. You can't just be sitting out there shooting threes, being pretty, don't want to play defense, don't want to get in there, mix it up, rebound and all that. That's just not going to fly anymore, man. So, yeah, he fits what their coach is.
To a T. Up next, we had Georgetown's Micah Peavy. This was the pick that Washington originally had before the Jordan Poole trade. So this pick Washington made, but essentially this was New Orleans. So the Pelicans is where Micah Peavy landed.
Big time score. First of all, they rebuilding. You can just tell Joe Dumars. He's hiring guys that are seasoned, ready to go, and can do a number of things, man. He and versatile. 6'6", 212. Didn't know he was that big. I thought it was more so 205, 210. So that's even better. But he can defend. He defends at a high level. Like he got big stops last year for Georgetown, especially when Sorbo went down. He stepped it up and even more. And I think that's why he was drafted early in the second round. I mean, not pretty much early to midway through the second round. And he got better as far as his shooting, man. And that was kind of the knock on him. Where he'd be able to make shots when he came from TCU from the outside, because look, during his career at TCU, he was a 27% 3-point shooter. He get to Georgetown last year, 40%. That boosts your stock, and that also boosts your scoring average, where it goes from 9 to 14. You see what I'm saying? Jump. Yeah, but the other thing that made the jump was his defense. He went from 1.3 steals a game at TCU to 2.3 last year. So, but you add in the 5 rebounds and the near 4 assists, you got the total package, and he averaged, and then it's just, my fault. My apologies. I'm looking at the wrong thing. No, his last year at his time at TCU, he averaged 7.3 points his and last year he averaged 17.2 points at Georgetown. So he took even a bigger lead than what I said, got it mixed up. That was my fault. But yeah, man, talented kid. Definitely watched him. 3-level scorer. Did well at the combines, well, got after it, defended well. Everything you saw all throughout the season, he carried that over to the combine. And I'm sure that's what impressed New Orleans to go and get him, man. But like I said, he's also he's been in college for a while. He's seasoned, man. He ready to go, man. And once upon a time, being old was a bad thing in the draft. Now it's coveted because they see like it's too tough to bring some of these young guys along, man. Then they just there and they never really pan out. And also, we got to keep it 100. The NIL stuff. A lot of these kids coming in spoiled already. They already messed up from that. And you can't reach them. It's already a lot with that. So you get the older guys who've been in college, kind of went through that phase, and they kind of looking like, all right, I understand what real money is. I'm over that, that first initial hype of ego boost. So yeah, I got money and all that, because you realize after a while when Uncle Sam is coming and you got to pay this and pay that, and you got bills and stuff, a couple million can go real quick. So then, you refocus, you keep the main thing, and then when the NBA come calling, they're ready to go because they've been through that phase and they just looking to be professionals. And I think that's what you're going to get with PV.
Yeah, there's definitely a theme here we're seeing, in both rounds. That end of the floor that some folks don't care about is a priority.
Yes.
Otherwise, the minutes won't be had. So it's great, what you can do offensively. But if you don't, you're not going to help yourself in terms of not getting on the court. That's why we enjoyed the playoffs. I'm looking that much more forward to Summer League. Folks going to be having to fight to get these spots.
That's how it should be.
Yep.
That's how any pro combine should be. You should be beat the hell up after that. Skin on the floor, scratch marks, all that, because you're literally fighting for your job. So that's how it should be. You know what I mean? And you got to separate the men from the boys.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely going to happen because there's not roster spots for everybody. Up next, we got Kobe Brea out of Kentucky, selected by Golden State. Instead, he's headed to Phoenix as part of a trade they had when people were swapping picks around today, something crazy. Your thoughts on Kobe Brea in Phoenix getting another guard? But again, been talking about depth, so.
Well, I thought he was the best shooter in college basketball last year, period shooter. He was torching, he was scorching the earth, last year with Kentucky, man. Shot 43%. Last season, 43% shooter from deep for his career. Shot 47% from the field last year, 91% from the free throw line. Averaged 11 points and 3 rebounds. The negatives is, can he defend? Can he defend? Can he get stops? And can he make enough plays as well? That's something he got to build up. Obviously saw him a lot at Dayton. Especially his last year Dayton, the 23-24 season. Like I said, when I say he was scorching the earth, that's what I mean, man. He shot 49%. He shot 49.8% from deep. And he took 6 threes.
On volume, shooting damn near 50% from deep.
You could not leave that man. He was one of them jobs. Dog, if he gets open, just know when we get back to practice, y'all running. We might run when we get back to practice. I mean, when we get back to campus from the game, depending on how I feel. There's just certain people you just why is he open out of everybody? Why is he open? And whoever left him open, just come sit next to me. Clearly, you don't want to play. You bugging. So it's just one of them things because he was torching earth. So yes, there's always room for shooting. But he got to be able to hold up on the other end, man. But like you said, traded to Phoenix, you got them bigs behind you, Rasheed and all that. Hey man, they may be able to hold it down so he can do what he do best, man. But look, he a professional, coming in a little light 202. Man, look, get in the lab. Sometimes the player development isn't just skill. Sometimes it's just the physical part as well. Get in the weight room, agility stuff. Studying film, understanding angles, and changing your mindset. I know his mindset. He's a killer, man. If I see the rim is going in, I know that's his mindset. You can tell how you shoot the ball. All right, apply that same mindset to the defensive end. Anybody with the ball, I'm locking up. I'm gonna make a lot of money being a 3-and-D guy if all else fails. That can keep you in the league 15 plus years. So, yeah, man, that's a hell of a pickup for the Phoenix. Notice the thing: older players, proven players, productive players.
I mean, right now, and continue on from where you were. Maybe obviously the role will be a little bit smaller, but come and contribute.
Mm-hmm.
Teams need it. Again, going back to that crazy word, keep talking about, that apron. You got to get the most out of these picks. First round, second round, what have you. You are going to be expected, which is great. That the standard is going to be raised back a little bit to maybe where it was in the past. But yeah, folks need you to come in and produce. Otherwise, somebody on the two-way does it. What need do they have for you? Up next, the Kings, by way of Chicago and San Antonio. Maxime Reynaud from Stanford. Big fella, extremely skilled, but I'm interested to see what it looks like on the other side of the floor for him. But your thoughts on Reynaud?
Very skilled player, man. Got averaged a double-double last year, 20 and 10. Shot 34% from deep, 46% from the field. I like bigs to be close around 50+%, but he has to embrace being physical more. But when he gets mad and gets mean, he's a beast. He can step out, shoot. Obviously, like I said, stretch the floor. So he's gonna be ideal in pick and roll situations. The Kings didn't really have a footer at all last year, which is crazy being in the NBA, but they didn't. So he gives them much needed size. He's also, I think he'll complement Sabonis better because his ability to shoot the ball the high-low game and how Sabonis can pass the ball and, everything. He's mobile. Thing with him is, as you see with them windmill, the thing with him is, man, just being more physical when he got to bang with other bigs. And just being tough in there because now you're in the big boy league. So, and you out west, you're going to see Jokic. You're going to see Anthony Davis, Wemby. You're going to see Naz Reid, Rudy Gobert. You're going to see them. They're going to put Lou Dort and Caruso on you when you see OKC. Houston, you got to deal with Sengun. It gets real now. Then you come out east, you got to deal with Giannis and Embiid going to be healthy. And, you know what I'm saying, Karl Anthony Towns. It just gets real. That's the league. That, as difficult as that sound, that's what makes the league fun. So he ain't going to have no choice but to get more mean, to get more physical, and obviously going to get some bonus every day. That should help right away. But, man, yeah, if he's able to just do what he did in college, man, rebound the ball, stretch the floor, and just be and hold up. You got to be able to hold up defensively, man. Because the one thing about bigs, they're closer to the basket, even though they further out than ever before, they're still closer to the basket. And they'll get him a foul trouble, and it'd be hard for him to play. And then also defensively, pick and roll, can't be in drop coverage. Guards they're going to light you up, and then they're going to sit you. So he's going to have to get that in under control, man. But offensively, with his skill set, to me, he's pretty much ready to go.
Yeah, I'm sure Sabonis is happy to see another skilled big join that team for sure. Up next, Washington's pick. This is who they took with the 43rd pick after, the trade yesterday. Select Jameer Watkins out of Florida State. Cardell, there's some other ties there for Mr. Watkins. Cede the floor to you, and I'll get these clips ready.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Jim Couch alum. Played in 2018 at Jim Couch National Training Showcase, which I'm a scout of. Impressed there. Big time scorer, willing defender, and he pretty much just carried that on to college. There's a reason why, he was signed by VCU, and VCU has a tradition of getting after it defensively. I'm going all the way back before Shaka Smart, Jeff Capel, when he was there, Pittsburgh current coach when he was there. He got the ball rolling on that, man. But Shaka just took it to a Final Four level. So that's all. Talented kid. Again, older, 23. He'll be 24 later this year. Athletic, tough, gets after defensively. What did we say about Washington? You guys to get out there defensively. And they do. They got youngins that are competitive. He'll fit right in with them. Score from all three levels. The only thing is just being more consistent from three. That's what held him back. He could be streaky. Like he can go 5 for 6 one game and then go 1 for 6 the next game. And that you want to keep it between 3 to 6, that range at all times, man. Especially with the depth of guards and wings that they have, man. If you can't, it's gonna be tough for you to stay on the floor. You know what I mean? But we're gonna see what happens. But I think he has the tools to be able to stick. If not, man, he can play at the go and develop. You know how that go, man. But it's on him. He definitely has the game where he could be an NBA player. And at the moment he is, he just got to show and prove and stick. But yeah, man, he has a lot of NBA tools. And the one thing I ain't learned until the combine, to be 6'5" with a 6'11" wingspan, that's a ball hawk defensively. That's a problem. So, start with the defense, man. I've never heard a coach say, "Hey, man, we got too many defenders."
It'll be the first time.
You never heard that from any coach at any level. So, hey, make your bones there first, and then let the offense come as it comes.
And like you said, somebody's going to a place where there's a bunch of other hungry youngsters on that end of the floor. You fit right in. And if you are able to lead with your defense, you'll find your way to minutes. A lot of youth didn't have an issue seeing the court last year for Washington at all. The last maybe 15, 20 games, Kobe Jones, I forget some other folks that were on 2 ways and whatnot. Like folks got a chance to get minutes there. So again, the defense, that's what matters there. All right, up next, where we at? Brooks Barnhizer, by way of Atlanta. He is headed to OKC.
You already know if OKC picks him up, he can defend, man. I've seen a couple games of his last year. If it makes sense, man, you remember Mark Madsen with the Lakers, how he went all out and played?
Yeah.
He's like a wing version of that. As far as having that motor, but it's on a perimeter. So he's the best. That's what I'm saying. He fits right in with what they do. Very good rebounder. He can make plays, and it's just weird how he just gets steals and finds a way, man, to get blocks and stuff. It's just wild, man. Like he just finds a way, man. He's relentless on the defensive end, man. The thing holding him back is his efficiency scoring the ball, man. Last year, for his career, he shot 41% from the field. Last year, he shot 41%. The best he's ever shot from the field is 42%. And as a guard, that's just not good enough. 3-point range, career 31% shooter. Last year, he shot 26%. He got to get that better, man. 76% from the free throw line, but he makes up for it by getting, grabbing boards. He averaged almost 9 last year as a guard. 4.2 assists, and then he, 2.3 steals and 1.1 blocks. So, and he averaged 17, and he didn't shoot the ball efficiently at all. And so, shooting to me is like the easiest skill outside ball handling to develop. You just got to get in the gym and just do it every day. And man, they lock him. Look, Karut. Look, I mean, look what they did for Lou Dort. They turned him into the ultimate 3D guy. Like he can hit threes. Like I remember when teams would just leave him, just go ahead and shoot. They can't do that no more. So all they got to do is lock him in the gym, put him on a gun, and I think he'll build up the habits where he can be able to shoot the ball. But the intangible stuff and the defensive end and stuff, being tough and all that, that's ready to go. So he fits right in with what they doing, man. And again, that Sam Presti and them boys, using all them damn picks to be in position to reload instead of rebuild. For certain guys, you know, they're gonna phase themselves out because they're gonna be too expensive, and they got guys lined up ready to replace them.
That's crazy. That's absolutely nuts. The rich get richer. All right, up next we got Rocco Zikarsky, a center out of Australia. Australia, you know, they didn't have as many players as France, but they had several players selected during tonight's draft. That said, Rocco was selected by the Bulls, but the pick was traded to Minnesota. We saw Minnesota in the first round selected big, doubled up in the second round. Your thoughts on Rocco Zikarsky?
Young, very young, has offensive tools, not the most fleet of foot, but has good hands, finishes strong, rebounds, interior presence. He'll go up and block shots. But he's young, man. You know, he got to develop. Probably was still growing into his body a little bit. And, you know, he has to get more explosive, more athletic. So I don't think he'll come over this year. I think they're going to keep him over there where he can continue to grow and develop, get reps, and see what it is when it's time to come over in a year or two, man. But, you know, as you can see, you know, otherworldly potential, you know, being 7'3" with a 9'6" standing reach, man, rim protector, man. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to throw it out there like I'm not going to say I know anything as far as, you know, they know down the line Rudy's not going to be there. So they're trying to find bigs that's already in place, that's already developed, and already accustomed to playing with Ant, who's a franchise player, being in that system that's ready to step in immediately and get to work instead of like, dang, Rudy's retired or whatever, we moved on. Whatever the case may be, and it's like, damn, who's next? You got to go find that, because you might find yourself in a position where that option is not there because there isn't another big right now, you know, and now it's tough. So, but just a, you know, project, a guy they're going to keep stashing in Australia. I feel they're going to keep stashing in Australia, can continue to grow, and you know, watch how you develop, man. But it's definitely talent there and the skill set.
All right. Again, back-to-back bigs here. Orlando selects Amari Williams, but this pick was traded to Boston. So Boston lands another young big. We know Boston's going through what they're going through with their roster reconstruction because of the apron. We've seen a couple of people leave. You know, there's noise about other people, whether people staying or whatnot. But again, a young big added, you know, they selected a young big.
Yeah, they need size. They need Trading Porzingis hurt. He was the size. Al Horford 6'10", and he older. So this kid is just a dirty work kid. He's very raw offensively. He needs a lot of work in that regard. But he's athletic. He's 7 feet. He's 262. Well, they got him listed at 262. I don't think he's that. You know, just seeing him at the come. I don't know if he's that, but you know, the way he'd be fluctuating depending on what you see. But 7'6" wingspan, blocks shots. He understands how to pass, so he can keep an offense flowing. He can rebound the ball at a high rate. Obviously averaging 8.5 rebounds. You know, he came, you know, played in the CAA, came out of Drexel, so he's kind of a late bloomer in the sense of getting on the NBA radar because he had to prove it in the SEC. And he took leaps and bounds. But yeah, last year, again, being older, more experienced, more seasoned, it clicked in a variety of ways. No, he's not somebody you can just throw the ball into the post and on the wing, on the perimeter, go to work. But he finds a way. And he gets his points with dirty work and getting to the free throw line. Lobs, tip-ins, running the floor, you know, stuff like that. Averaged 10 points, but he averaged 8.5 rebounds. And the most impressive thing, he averaged 3.2 assists, which means he's able to help our offense keep going, and he makes good, sound decisions and reads. And, you know, because most bigs, they get the ball, they don't even look certain areas. They, hey, come get this ball back. I don't know what to do with this. Don't play with me. You know, it's that type of thing. So, but nah, he's actually a threat when he gets the ball to make a credible pass and, you know, credible play to make you pay as the defense. So that's encouraging. But Getting the lab every day and just working on his offensive skill set will go. And he only need a couple go-to moves. Just to be able to step out, hit the pick and pop, hit the 20-footer, and get his jump hook with both hands. And those are three moves, three things you can rely on to be a consistent scoring threat. Once he add that to his game, full speed ahead.
All right, up next we got Milwaukee. Boguslav Markovic from Serbia. All right, they started to crank them out a little bit too. 6'11", 213, 215, whatnot. We know Milwaukee's going through whatever they're going through, where they're trying to reconstruct their roster a little bit too. We know Dame's hurt, but again, the noise around Giannis, what have you. You got some folks who might be leaving the free agency. So again, young, skill, big, depth.
Yeah, but Brook Lopez, it's about to be his 17th season, man. It don't seem like it. It don't seem like it's
right.
Okay, exactly.
Brooke,
to say, go ahead.
You want to know what it was? I know Brook's been around for a while. He's just not one of the guys I throw the number to.
He just look the same. He don't look no different.
Yeah.
Game pretty much the same, but 16 years, man. He been in the league 16. I mean, you gotta get some bigs, man. You gotta start looking, man. And this kid 60 up to 13, got to develop some. He got developed very thin, but he's athletic. Got a lot of skill, but he got built up physically to be able to hold his own against other bigs and stuff, man. It's just it is what it is, man. Because I don't think people understand having your physical right, being physically conditioned and strong helps you in a myriad of ways. Your first step, how you elevate for jumpers, how you take contact when you drive and try to get downhill and they bump you. Defensively, your lateral movements, boxing out for a rebound. All that is tied to you physically being prepared to play basketball at a high level. Without it, it's hard for you to maximize your game when physically you just can't match up. And then that's what this kid, he has the height, but he has work to do. He got to live in the weight room to really maximize what he can do. And his skills there, but defensively, who's he going to stop? And, when you're not in tip-top straight, not strong enough, can you stay durable? That's the other thing. You know what I mean? So the East is a grind. And, you want – come on, man, you're going to have to deal with Giannis every day in practice. So, it is what it is, man. But if he's able to build, match with his skill set and size, if he's able to get his strength and conditioning up to par with that, all right, then you got a player or a promising player on your hands.
All right. Up next, we got a little run on guards as we get closer to the end of this second round. Javon Small, guard out of West Virginia. And he landed with the Grizzlies. And this pick was moved from Golden State, and they got that pick from Washington.
Right. Small guard, but tough. All-around threat, average 18, 5'6", 5 assists, 4 rebounds, 1.5 steals. Decent from three-point range, 35%, 88% from the free throw line. Just a quality guard that understands, how to play, make guys around him better, but also being able to be a threat himself, especially in mid-range. He's very crafty. So, and he's quick. So, remember I was talking about the drop coverage or whatnot. You can't. You got to blitz him. You got to keep him in front because he's able to, probe and then just explode right past anybody and get to the paint time and time again, and that's just tough to deal with. But the physical part, does he has the strength and tough? I mean, I know he's tough. Does he has the strength and know how to be able to hold up on that end? Because think about it, you know what I'm saying? He's in Memphis, right?
Yeah.
So
he's in Memphis.
You got to play OKC for 3 or 4 times a year. You got to deal with Shea. And you 6'1", 190. he ain't even seeing you, bro. He don't even see footers, till after he releases the ball. So that's an example of what I'm talking about. That's just tough. Oh, now you in the West, you got to deal with Luka. You feel what I'm saying? He got to prove he could be a pest on that end and hold his own. Otherwise, it's gonna be a long night. Oh, when Kyrie get back, you got to deal with that.
Yeah,
yeah. Ant-Man, you got to deal with Ant-Man. It's you got to deal with De'Aaron Fox. Down there throwing names. Obviously, Steph. I ain't even bring him on now. So it gets real. So he got to be able to hold up. Prove he can hold up on that end, but still do what he do in all aspects on the offensive end.
Yeah, that's a tall task. We shall definitely see. Again, we're just a couple weeks out for summer league. Up next, the Cavs select Duke guard Tyrese Proctor. Your thoughts on the fit there?
They love shooters, don't they? They love
Yes,
these.
they got a type.
You can tell. It looked like analytics is very prevalent there, man. And the wild part is, I feel like the need that they really need it. I don't know if they addressed it, but there's neither here nor there, man. Look, the boy can shoot the ball. He can score the ball. He's great at getting to the spots and knocking down shots. Average 12 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 45% from the field, 40% from deep, but 68% from the free throw line, which is alarming in a way. Because for a guy that shoot the ball so well, it's crazy. And his free throw percentage has went down. Like he went down from 87% his freshman year, 75% sophomore year, now 68% his junior year. You know what I mean? And even his assists went down. He averaged 3 his first 2 years, and then last year as a junior, he only averaged 2. So, I mean, I know a lot has to do with the personnel that they had, being so deep, Cooper bringing the ball up and all that, but neither here nor there, man. He really didn't take major leaps while he was at Duke. You know what I mean? So, you got to be just looking at him for his shooting ability. But, look, he 3 years of college, he's listed at 183. That's normally your weight when you coming out of high school at 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah, 3 years. That's almost as alarming as the free throw percentage.
Yeah, so he going to hit the weight room. There ain't no getting around that, and he got to prove he can defend. But he got around the other parts of his game. Got to be able to make plays and make better plays. Because think about it, you're not going to be the primary option no more. You're not going to really have the ball in your hands like that Donovan, Darius Garland is. You know what I mean? So, and I also think he's an insurance policy because of Garland's injury prone. So, I think they're looking at him. But he has experience, big game experience, especially just being a junior, being at Duke, playing the big games all the time. So, I don't expect the lights to bother him. So, I expect what he does well to translate. The key is will he improve the things that he doesn't do well to make another leap when he gets to the league.
That 180 bothers me quite a bit. All right, up next we got the Knicks and the Clippers, who essentially just swap picks here. So the Clippers essentially selected at 50, and they took Kobe Sanders, a guard out of Nevada. Besides on him, 6'7", about 200.
Decent, put in work. He has an all around impact. He's just not dynamic at anything. He's one of those guys that's like he's good at a lot of things, but not great at any. If that makes sense. So, and I think that's what you kind of hoping to get, in the second round. Because, like I said, he got traded to the Clippers. They need somebody that understands how to play basketball and that are just solid in every area, that you don't really somebody that can help you, but you don't really lose nothing. You don't need nobody to really set the world on fire because you got Kawhi and all those other guys already in that space, man. So 3-level score, efficient, 46% from the field, 34% from deep, nearly 80% from the line. Average 4.5 assists, 4 rebounds. Like I said, man, he's a complete basketball player. 5 years, so goes to show you he's seasoned. But like I said, he's a complete basketball player, but it's not something that's gonna wow you. He's just able to come in and just play basketball. And I think sometimes that's just all you need. You don't need nobody that's just expecting to set the world on fire or to be looked at to set the world on fire, man. Just come in here and plug into what we doing. And whatever play we need you to make at that time, be able to make that play. And he's capable of doing that at a very efficient level, as the numbers I just read. So as long as he does that, he'll be fine, especially at 6'7". You know, you can never hurt having all-around threat with size.
Yeah, being well-rounded at this point in the draft, I don't think there's anything you could be upset at if you're the one doing the selecting. Up next, Mohamed Diawara, coming over from France. I know on the broadcast we talk about this might be somebody who they expect to be stashed for the Knicks. Did you have any thoughts on him?
Nah, man, that's exactly what that is, man. Because
Okay.
who you gonna play against? I mean, who you gonna bump?
Right. All right. Well, we'll move on next. 52nd overall pick, 22nd in the second round. This is Alex Tui out of Australia, forward. This pick was made by Phoenix, but it's part of the trade with Golden State when they swapped second rounders around earlier. What's your thoughts on Tui in Golden State? Because we know not just everybody could play in Golden State. It's not a system where everybody. Sometimes it comes easy to folks, and other folks it never. It just never clicks.
Versatility and IQ. So I'm at the combine, and he's tough. He's competitive. Understands how to play basketball, and you need to be able to do that to play with the Warriors. That's the issue with why Kerr don't really trust Kuminga, even though you saw in the playoffs when he let Kuminga loose. It's like, wow, the dog just drive, spin moving. He dunking on 2-3 dudes. But you got to know how to play basketball. Got to know how to make the right reads in real time. And whether it's you scoring or finding somebody flaring open for a corner three or elbow three or a lob or whatever the play needs to be made, and Tui can do that. One thing that I saw at the combine, he's a tough defender, man. He got a lot of tenacity on that. And like you could, I don't know where he grew up at. I know he grew up in Australia, but I don't know what environment he grew up in. But he seemed like a kid that grew up where, because of maybe how he looked, people tried to test him a lot. And so it made him become nasty on the defensive end. Like he got excited when he got stops at the combine, and you could just tell, like, man, it's like that viral clip of Tony Allen. Man, you got me up out here, man. I'm not the lick, bro. Pass that somewhere else. That's the type of energy he brings on the defensive end. Like, don't play with me. You know what I'm saying? So he'll fit right in, man. And like I said, with his versatility and versatile skill set, where he can shoot the ball, post up a little bit, mid-post, move without the ball, understand how to set screens and flare over and then make plays and, may be able to make shots, man. He fit right in with what the Warriors have been accustomed to with their system, man. So, yeah, man, it's just up to him. He got drafted so late. And he's 6'8", 223, so physically he kind of ready to go. So just up to him to prove he deserved a stick.
And I'm sure that's great for them because they've been struggling at times to find young players that fit what it is they do. And they definitely need anything with size they need over there. I'm sure will be a luxury to them. And I'm sure they love when you talk about the defense. Was like, I'm sure Kerr was smiling about that, knowing that there's another person that has versatility on that end of the floor. So we'll see if he's able to earn spot in that rotation or not as time goes on. John Tonji out of Wisconsin to the Jazz.
Physical guard. That's what I pretty much call him. he's not a freak athlete. He gets the job done. 6'5", 212, but he's strong. He's a power guard, like as you just saw right in the clip. When he bumps you, you gotta be very careful because he can knock you off course. Crafty scorer. You score from all three levels. Shot 39% from three last year. Had a huge game. I think he had a 40-point game last year, if I'm not mistaken. I know it was a game where he was going crazy.
It was a 41-point game.
Okay, that one. Understands how to play on and off the ball, as you just saw with the backdoor cuts and stuff. Very savvy, he can shoot it. Like, man, he he can play, man. Without a doubt. He's with the Utah Jazz, so yeah, they need talent, and they need talent on the low. They got to build that thing up. So he's somebody that'll get opportunity, man. With what he can do offensively, I'm kind of shocked he went this low. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I'm not saying he would have been a first round pick, but maybe higher in the second round, the 30s, something to be some proven. But like I said, the NBA is a different ball game. So you see how physically he was roughing a lot of guards and stuff, and you do that consistently in the league. Because one thing you didn't see him do was be shifty off the bounce. He would bump you, create space, hit the shot, or just go right by you. So you got to look at it like, well, cool. You in Utah now. Again, the standard, the champs are OKC. Would that work against them?
Right. Are you bumping Lou Dort, Alex Caruso off their spot? Right.
Just saying. So if you can't bump them, do you have enough handle? Can you still create how you creating separation to get into your shot? If you can't go by them or bump them to create space. The jury's still out on that, and that's probably why he failed.
Up next, we got the Pacers. They doubled up on guards. This time it was Tillian Peter out of Liberty.
Yep. Came in front. Don't know the kid. So,
you know what? Then it's just something to keep an eye on. They're in Summer League.
Mm-hmm.
The Pacers, and obviously we do know what we do know is could be an opportunity if you can come in as a guard on the Pacers and take care of what you need to take care of. With Tyrese out, who knows how the rotation looks like? Because we talked about who they took already earlier. Wild guess is Nembhard steps up. McConnell stays a pivotal role. Young felt we mentioned earlier, then replaces Nembhard. Again, I don't think they're going to turn away a guard that fits them and does what it is they ask of you. So we'll keep an eye on them during Summer League. That's the safest way to go about it. Up next for the Lakers, and this was traded to Chicago, Lachlan Olbrich out of Australia.
Strong, high motivated, physical. Has a great feel for the game. A ton of pro experience, obviously being in NBL. Don't stretch the floor, so that's why I'm kind of shocked a little bit by him going to Chicago. He's not a pick and pop big right now. He doesn't hit a lot of threes. He does his work inside on the block. Maybe that's what they want. They want somebody to. They want somebody to get easy points inside, which I'm not mad at. I feel like a lot of teams need that. Yeah. But my thing is, again, defensively, will he be able to hold up at center? Will he be able to finish consistently inside against put Wemby on him, put Giannis on him? The matchups he's going to have, you feel what I'm saying? That just remains to be seen. If he was able to space the floor, I'd be more confident in that because now he can keep him honest. But, unless he's been in the lab crazy working on that, if he's coming with what I saw on film from last season, it's going to be tough because he's not a free athlete where he could just drop, step, and dunk on you and stuff. He wasn't even doing that in the NBL. So now, can you drop step on Giannis and put him in the basket? will you be able to do that against Wemby? You damn sure ain't doing it against Jokic because he's just too big and strong, even though he can't jump off the ground like that. So, I mean, I'm just thinking about the matchups that you have, man. So, we gotta see how they try to make it work, man. But if he's able to sum up some type of offense and rebound well, man, he might be able to find a role for himself on Chicago.
All right. Got a little ahead of myself there. Sorry about that. We got Will Richard out of Florida. A lot of Florida players in the second round out of Florida. And this pick was he was taken by Memphis, but traded to Golden State.
3-and-D guy. And Florida guys should get drafted. They the champs. They
Yes, sir.
Work. They dominated. Ain't nothing. I'm not mad at that at all. He was at the combine as well. Got like a 6'10" wingspan at 6'4". Can hit shots, hit a lot of, definitely can shoot the ball from deep, defend multiple positions. The wingspan helps, man. It helps you be able to guard bigger players when you contest and you get in the lane. He was active in their national championship run, man. He was getting a lot of pass deflections, steals, timely blocks, key rebounds, all of that. Like all that matters, man. You know what I mean? So, and also being able to finish over bigger opponents when you driving and stuff is just the inches. That's what Florida won. That was big that was key in their run to win the championship, man. It's a game of inches sometimes, and they had more than anybody, man. So as far as getting it done, man, the guys that won those type of battles, man. So, yeah, see, Golden State, you could just tell even at the end of the second round. Teams are not just picking players like they used to. All right, just get somebody, get it over with. Mm-hmm. They picking guys like we need to take a look at him. He might shock us. He might come in here wild. And at the end of the day, that's the value of having a G League. If he ain't quite ready, we might like him enough to send him down there to develop and see where he could be in a few years.
Exactly. But the most important thing is getting someone who fits the system, period. And then it's up to the kid to see where they end up at out the gate. Up next, Max Shulga out of VCU, selected by Orlando, traded to Boston. Again, this is part of their whole pick swapping thing from earlier. So your thoughts on Max Shulga and Boston kind of just adding, trying to replenish their depth as they restructure their roster?
Well, I've seen a lot of Max in the A10 in the VCU. I saw a ton of them last year. He a bad boy when he got it going. When he's scoring and stuff, he's a bad boy. I'm not gonna take nothing from him. He can play point. He can play the two. He can literally switch between both and run a team, and then he can just flip the switch and become a killer and hit shots. Great with pick and roll stuff, man. Like the way he's his feel for probing off of screens and stuff, man, he's hard to guard in that, man. But he knows how to play defense at a high level. He just don't have the physical tools. At the combine, he struggled mightily. He did. Even though he understood angles and stuff, I seen him look way better in A10 play. But when he got to the combine, he dealing with the best of the best. Right. You just saw where he could have trouble on that end, man. And that's just something they're going to have to try to figure out if you can figure it out. Again, college shape is different than NBA shape. You know what I'm saying? Once you, fully locked into what you need to be doing with the nutrition, eating right, treatment, lifting right, like how you should, if you're doing everything you should be doing. So, we're going to see. There's a reason why he was drafted this way. It's an uphill battle for him. The thing I think that's going to hurt him the most, like, can he get stops? So he's going to have to wild in the summer league to be able to stick, man. If not, he's going to be overseas. But see what it does, man. The way he can make plays and shoot, he could blossom right before our eyes. All he got to do, to me, honestly, I think offensively he's pretty good. I just think he needs to prove he can get stops, especially against more athletic players. If he could do that, might be a spot for him somewhere. If not with the Celtics, obviously with their roster kind of already intact, definitely the G League team.
Okay. Second to last pick of the night, Saliu Niang from Senegal. He's going to the Cavs, but
Yeah, I think he's just gonna be another one of them
stash.
trash.
Yep. Definitely looks like it's stash. Last but not least, we got Jemai Mashik from Tennessee. And he the Rockets pick, but they traded it to Memphis.
Right.
Sorry.
6'4", but he's a wing. From what I saw last year, well, he's a pest defensively. He gets out there and on that end. Not really much of an offensive profile to speak. He only averaged 6 points last year, 4 rebounds. I'm looking at now. He shot 35%, but he only attempted 1 3. He only shot the ball 4 times, and he was efficient 45% and 72% from the free throw line. But defensively, he averaged 1.7 steals in 28 minutes, and 4.2 rebounds, which isn't bad for a guard. So I think his whole thing is the defensive end. His potential on that end. So we're gonna see where it goes. Like you said, he traded to Memphis. They do need some defensive starters with Bane and all those guys gone. So, like I said, some leagues should be fun because I think a lot of guys are really legit being evaluated. Normally, it'd be let's just see how the rookies look.
Right.
Somebody else wow us. We'll bring them in the training camp, see what to do, or we just send them to the G League. This year, I feel like it's gonna be different. Like, yeah, we got to really sit back and look at everybody because the margins are very slim between the guys you draft in the first round compared. Like, it's some heavy hitters that went in the second round that I'm sure feel like they can get the better of the first round pick. They just got the guaranteed contract. So, it's gonna be interesting to see during summer league.
And just to piggyback on that, everyone's not OKC where they have a treasure trove of first rounders for the future, which again, to your point with summer league, that means you need to be on top of what's in your kind of off the baseball big picture of like the minor leagues. Like, you need to know exactly what you have on each level, and where they can fit, because it's not just having just put one of your youngsters on a G League team. You might want to stack the G League team with as many folks as you can that fit your system, because it's going to pay off. You need some way to ease the other end of the spectrum, which is the apron, which means you have to win on the margins. It's not, we found a player on the margin. Now, the great teams, they're going to thrive in the margins, and it's about how you go about doing it. You can do it the Presti way, which they're doing it on all 3 levels.
Mm-hmm.
Begin the second rounders, the UDFAs, they're making something out of that, and they got first banks. Or, thinking of somebody like Orlando in the short future, in the immediate future, where they traded a bunch of stuff away. Hey man, for a little while, after they pay the 2 guys they're going to pay, how you're going to have to live to fill out the roster. And to do that means those evaluations need to be on point, man. It's just that simple. But we appreciate you guys. We'll see you tomorrow night as we break down the Wizards draft as a whole, specifically just the Washington Wizards. And you guys have a great evening.